Well, last month, the Tina Turner musical made its debut in Sydney, and with rave reviews and a sellout, the show has been extended to December 24. Well, joining me live is Ruva Ngweny, who plays Tina Turner. Thank you so much, Ruva, for joining us. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolute pleasure, and thank you for joining us, and congratulations to you and everyone on the show. Tell us a little bit about the show.
Well, Tina, the Tina Turner musical, is a biography, but it's also a musical about her life. We start from her childhood and we end, in the 80s when she became this mega star across the globe. And we go through all the ups and downs of her life and the journey that she took to get to where she was. I think if people are familiar with parts of Tina Turner's life story, but seeing it all play out on stage is really something else.
Yeah, you say it so well. And, there's 23 iconic songs, isn't there? And as you said, Tina's extraordinary life, and reading some of the reviews, Ruva, I mean, they're incredible. Some of the papers and media describing the show as simply the best, as you would expect, and also a must-see show. It's received 37 prestigious awards and nominations around the world, including Best Musical for Tony Awards and Best New Musical for the Olivia Awards. So, it is absolutely brilliant. And as you said, it's a lot of light and shade, isn't it? Lots of songs, but also Tina's journey through life.
Yeah, it really is. We delve in there and there are some difficult moments in the show, but it just comes all full circle by the end. We're celebrating her life and it's so inspiring to watch. And a lot of people who've come and seen the show have said that they felt really inspired and moved by the show, and they felt an array of emotions. So that's really good.
That sounds wonderful. And, you've got to sing a lot of songs. They're simply the best. What's Love Got to Do with It? The Nutbush, Proud Mary. Have you got a favourite?
I would say my favourite to sing is River Deep Mountain High in Act 1. But to be honest, it's so fun singing all of that music. It's iconic. And as you're singing, you can see audience members tapping along or singing along. And you just know that you're part of something special. And you're singing music that has been the soundtrack to so many people's lives. So it's really special.
The performing industry, like many other industries, did it tough through lockdowns, and you're back on stage. The crowds are huge; they're full. We hear so many people saying that there's more than ever before since lockdown. We got out of lockdown. How are you seeing the crowds? I know you just mentioned that they are getting up and dancing, but is it just tell us about how it is with those crowds.
It's really special to be back on stage. It feels like we're home again, and it's really nice to be performing for people who genuinely appreciate it and have missed live performance. It's something that you can't replicate. You just have to be there to experience it, and to be a part of that every night is really, really special. You have to be there to understand the energy and the excitement of what live theatre really is. And I think we lost that magic during the pandemic and people being in their houses and watching screens. It's just not the same thing. When you're there, you're there. So it's really nice to have that back.
And what brought you into the musical, entertainment, singing, dancing world? How did you get into this industry?
Well, I've always been a singer. It's something that was a hobby and a passion of mine since I was a kid. So that was always happening. But I kind of ended up in musical theatre, specifically after an audition and a scouting from Facebook to audition for The Lion King back 10 years ago now. And that was my first show. And I was, an inexperienced singer in the musical theatre world. And from there, it just blossomed from show after show into what is now Tina Turner. But I studied music, I studied singing, and I always loved it, but I don't think I knew that this was ahead of me, that I was going to be leading a show of this capacity. So it's really special to be here. I feel like my dreams have come true.
That is wonderful. You're clearly extremely talented. I had the privilege to see the show. It was absolutely magnificent. This is your first lead. As you said, you've been in so many other musicals professionally. So an amazing career, and no doubt so many more shows ahead. Give us an idea of, going to those auditions. I mean, you're, again, clearly talented, but how do you get through those auditions and what makes you keep going? What advice perhaps would you have for upcoming performers?
Well, I would say obviously it's going to be hard and it is very nerve wracking when you get into those auditions, and it can be quite intimidating and scary. So, the main thing I would say preparing yourself to go in is to do the work and to really rehearse, really get in your singing lessons and your coachings with your acting coach, your dance classes, working on your technique, strengthening your body and your voice and your mind, and really preparing yourself the best way you can for those auditions, because there's no doubt that it is going to be intimidating. So the best that you can do is be prepared. And I think a lot of people forget that in the arts, there's a lot of work that goes on behind these people on stage and these, charismatic performances that we see. It's not just happening as a talent and a gift. It's happening because a lot of work has gone into it and a lot of rehearsing and discipline. So I would say that the arts in general is a very disciplined and hardworking industry, and it takes commitment to working at your craft, not just talent. You won't get far with talent alone. It takes work too.
Yeah, well said. And as you well know, it's not about having a stable job, is it, for many performers? You have musicals that come and go, and the ups and downs, and the resilience that we always talk about. But great advice there. So the Tina Turner musical, tell us about the rest of the cast and crew and what it's like to work with everyone.
It is so incredible working with the company of Tina. Everyone backstage, on stage, is so humble and kind and hardworking and supportive. It's a very challenging role and show. The themes are quite intense for all of us. So it's really important that we all really hold each other and are supportive. So we've got an amazing crew, an amazing cast, a very diverse cast, which is really special, and crew backstage as well. So, when you come and see the show, you're seeing an array of different versions of human, and a celebration of what it means to be a human and an artist today. And I really, really appreciate the show for that. Its diversity and inclusiveness is just really, really special and quite important to me. So it's really nice to see that.
That is wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and telling us about the Tina Turner musical, Ruva, and we look forward to hearing more, and all the very best for the rest of the show. Thanks again.